welcome to the latest episode of KapVista Klips. Today we're here with Nick Brubaker from ClaimCheck. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well here in Atlanta. A little late, little time change for us.
Well, we speak to people from all over the globe. How's things in Atlanta? Over the last few days, your part of the world is going through a lot, and it's good for business, but it's must be stressful.
Yeah, we have record high summers here in the South, which, when it's really hot, that kind of stirs up the winds. And we had our earliest hurricane hit Florida this year in the last 30 years. And actually, Hurricane Ernesto is passing over Puerto Rico right now, about to hit Florida again. So it's not the best, but, every year around, September, we usually have a couple of huge storms come through.
Yeah.
So.
But then, and we'll get into this, but that probably ties in well for your business. And for people who are watching this episode, Nick is in the insurance industry, being in the claim adjustment space for quite a while. So he's very successful, runs a very successful business, and he's sort of tapping into that for the latest tech offering. So before we get into ClaimCheck and what that is, tell us about you, tell us about your background, your history, because we are very interested in finding out a bit more about you.
Yeah, us insurance guys, we love talking about that kind of stuff. So I'm the son of a professional hockey player and a model. So my mom, she was the model, and she remarried when I was young, and she married into the disaster kind of world. My stepdad, he actually burned his house down when he was a little kid, and so his dad adjusted that claim, and it kind of snowballed into him helping other people. And now I'm a third generation claims adjuster. So what people don't know is the insurance industry has two sides, the insurance company side and then the public side. So in the past 10 years, I've been a public adjuster. So my job is to help people, guide them through the claims process, tell the insurance company how much money they owe you. And, we really feel like, we're helping people. And, that's where the whole thing comes from. And, the claims world, it's the disaster industry. I hate that it has to exist, but, at the end of the day, we're really making people whole.
Yeah. So for people who may not know this, when insurance company, you go to make a claim and they say, okay, we've had a look at it and we're going to give you $100,000. You can actually challenge that and, engage with a public adjuster to do their homework and research and say, well, okay, hold on, we can actually get you, 10% more, 20% more based on real world figures, not just what the insurance company tells you.
Yeah, that's right. When we look at these claims, there's, the white and the black. There's things that are definitely damaged, the things that definitely aren't damaged, but then there's this gray area, and the gray area can swing, either way. So it's our job to make sure that the gray area swings in the way of, the consumer. And
yeah, awesome. And then, you said you're a third generation public adjuster. So tell us about your current business to build this. Tell us about the successes you've had, because it is a very successful business and puts you in a different position to most other founders, because you're coming off the back of this and the real world, and then tied into what ClaimCheck's doing.
Yeah. So, being a third generation, we start, our benchmark of claims starts at around $500,000 and goes up, large commercial clients. Being in Atlanta, there's a lot of multi-million-dollar homes. So I got exposed to a lot very quickly. 10 years ago, my stepdad, he, wanted to bring me on. He had 3 employees. And, from there, I helped to build out the company to now we have over 30. We're nationwide. I'm currently licensed in 28 states. And, I've been deployed in the British Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos, Mexico, all these places that, kind of get ravaged by these hurricanes. I got, kind of thrown onto the streets in the school of hard knocks in the adjusting industry. And, that was, so 8 years ago is when I first got deployed. And, this whole time I've been trying to make sense of it. it's still the Wild West. How one adjuster does things, how one insurance company does things, it pits, the different numbers and settlements kind of against each other. Well, this guy handles it this way, well, this guy's an old timer. He wants to do things this way. And especially with my generation, I'm like, well, where's the processes? Where's the formats? Like, what do you mean you're not going to pay for this just because you don't feel like it? Things like that is still going on out there. And, that kind of segued me into ClaimCheck. I see people, they don't want, the insurance company doesn't want to pay for the roof. When half of it's blown off, like, well, we're just going to pay for half. It's like, well, you can't just pay for half of a roof. Like, you have to replace the whole thing. And then there's things in the policy that people don't understand that the insurance companies aren't going to tell you unless you know to ask. And, that's kind of the basis of how ClaimCheck got started. The first step is reviewing your policy and spitting out in terms that you can understand. It's an 80, 90-page document. And then the second step is looking at your insurance company's estimate that they've written. So when you have a claim, they tell you how much money they're going to pay you, but it comes in the form of a 100-page document. It might as well be in a different language. All you do is you see the number at the bottom and you're like, okay, well, they're going to write me a check for, $50,000. And, that doesn't happen every day. So you don't know if you're getting a good settlement or a bad settlement. And if you want to bring on, external help, that system's only set up for these $1 million, multi-million-dollar claims. So I, with the miracle of AI and how everything's been, progressing, I tried to just download my brain and, some of my, team members' brains into the platform. And, once I got my platform back, I'm like, oh, this works. We can increase these claims and cut down the time it takes to, get higher settlements by, weeks and months, compared to, being at the mercy of the insurance companies, adjusters coming back out, with their large caseloads, or, if there's another disaster that hits, now all of a sudden they're stretched thin, and you're left on the back burner because you have a $10,000 claim and they're trying to close a, $500,000 claim.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting space, and you're building a solution based on your real world product market fit. And your family business is looking at the larger claims, and there's all these smaller claims that just go unnoticed or unchecked, or they need a bit of help. So building a platform that can facilitate some sort of help out of that opens up a huge market. So tell us about the market that you're actually playing in with this this platform, and then what does it open up to for you for the other business?
So the average claim size in America is $15,000. I get calls almost every single day from friends or even just call-ins through our company where I have to turn them away. I try and coach them up, say, well, here's what your policy reads. Here's what you need to say. The pricing on this isn't right, but the margins just aren't there for an insurance professional, and public adjusters and attorneys to take these claims on. I get sent to, lower Florida after a hurricane, and we're down there for, the city of Panama City. We're down there for large, the power authority, the hospitals. And I have to drive by all of these people whose roofs have been blown off, or, they have claims where, no one's really helping them. So that, that's where it first starts off is I just want to be able to help as many people as I can. But, you can only be so many places at once. At the end of the day, you have to, try and profit on these things. So, with us, with ClaimCheck, we want to get people, the right tools that they need to fight their own claims. And for claims that are, more complicated or larger, then it would segue into, if you need to talk to, a real person about your claim, then you'd be able to have that avenue.
Okay. That's very interesting. What's the size of the market?
Right now, the size is $5 billion in the claims industry in America. That's how much money is issued. That's how many claims are released. When a natural disaster hits, it spikes. You see all these crazy statistics, that get dropped. $300 million, in Fort Walton. All these things start kind of adding up, and it's all happens in the first like 2 weeks
Mm.
of a claim, because the insurance company goes around, surveys all the market, surveys all the land, and sees, okay, this is what we need to tell our reinsurers, back in London, how much money they're going to have to release. And again, a lot of these claims are about $20,000. So doing the math there, you kind of, about a couple 100,000 people that need help every single time one
Yeah.
of these disasters hit.
Yeah. So then potentially using your software, you can increase that by another 20 or 30%. And how does the platform work? You said AI will read the policy, understand the policy, understands the state legislation that you're playing in. Does it pull in data from, real world, timber suppliers and roofing, things like that to understand, well, okay, the insurance company is going to pay you $50,000, but to get the job done, it's going to cost, $60,000 or $70,000. Does it pull in data like that?
Yeah, so we've taught it to adjust the pricing that the insurance companies use. That updates, at the beginning of every month. Sometimes the pricing is based off of how it was a day before the loss. But it really needs to be, the pricing a month after the loss, because that's what people are going to be
Yeah.
paying. So it checks that, and then it also checks to make sure that there's all these hidden coverages that aren't on the first couple pages of the policy. Debris removal, overhead and profit, things like code upgrades. They're not going to pay for that unless you ask for it. So understanding your insurance policy, is the first step, and that's what the platform does right off the beginning. And then then it applies your policy, tells you how much percentage of the coverage you're getting paid out on, and it actually reprices out your estimate, and then tells you, this is exactly what you need to say to your insurance company, to your adjuster.
Okay, awesome. So tell us about
Yeah.
the raise. You're raising capital to, build out more of your MVP and then get it to market. And you said that you're about a month away from actually putting live cases through it. You've tested it yourself. Tell us about the raise, how much you're raising, and what's being used for.
Yeah, so after kind of polling a bunch of people in the tech industry, right now I'm asking for $3 million. To me, that seems like a very large ask, but to do this right and to be first to market, that's what we would need. A lot of it's going to go into technology and research and development. Each state and each country has their own type of laws when it comes to adjusting and the different types of insurance regulations that happen. Some states don't pay for half of the other half of the roof that I was talking about. Some states, require you to have, certain documents submitted in the first 30 days, for you to capitalize on everything you can get. So teaching it all the intricacies that it needs to help everyone. That's where a lot of the funding is going to go at the beginning. And then the next is marketing. It's not every day that someone shows up to your doorstep and says, "Hey, I work for your insurance company, and I'm going to issue you a check for $100,000." And $100,000 sounds great, but it sounds better, $500,000. So just being able to market that and change people's minds. It's not an adversarial. We're not fighting insurance companies. We're just helping people understand, like, hey, this is what you're entitled to, and this is what you need to ask for. So changing the mindset of the public. We always describe it as, you wouldn't go to court without an attorney. You shouldn't go into an insurance claim without your own adjuster. That's the fastest way to kind of get people to understand. And then the back half is, developing, our own adjusters. If these claims do get too complicated and we aren't helping people, the way that, we want them to, move their claim forward, or if they just immediately like the concept and they want help right away, we'll be able to just kick them over to a team of adjusters just like me that can, guide them through the process and, move it along.
Okay, brilliant. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but it's certainly fascinating space. Having come from the insurance world myself, I know, how the claims process works. I know, from an insurance company side, what the policy goes through. And here in Australia, I've come from the life insurance world, so generally
Oh
life
yeah.
insurance policies are written through financial advisors. So when you need to make a claim, your financial advisor handles that for you. But then on the general insurance side, it's a very rare thing. So I understand the space. I think it's fascinating. Any investors who are watching this, if you have any questions about the space, about ClaimCheck, want to get in touch with Nick or his team, reach out to my team and we can make a direct introduction. I think this is a fascinating platform and it's got global appeal. This is not just a US focused platform. This is a global focused platform because this happens in most countries that offer insurance products. People are undereducated on what their policy actually entails and what they're entitled to. So thank you very much for jumping on. It's great to chat. And yeah, we can connect you to anybody who's watched this episode.
All right. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Perfect. Thank you.